Well, I want to do a quick silver update on basically it's going to collapse of the U.S. economy, man. God, when I looked at the oil prices, I'm like, whoa, man. I'll tell you, I'll elaborate just here in a few minutes. These three kittens here, this was back in 2012. The guy on the left here with the gray, that's my Putin over there. Back when he probably was about, I don't know, 4 or 5 months old. And that's his sister. He had a black cat sister, and I think this is his brother. I know it's part of his litter. He looks just like Goldie, and he got Onyx and Feather. They're two black cats. I mean, I don't know. I hope he's in good company now. He's almost 8 years old now. God had him for a while. Anyway, kitty picture. Anyway, but yeah, I know they passed out all this money, right? God, I didn't get any yet, but whatever, I'm supposed to. And thanks, man. Yeah, I look at this. It's kind of a funny picture because personally, when I look at pastors and these people, any of these people in religion, they're like whatever the role they're playing, what a racket, we won't give you money. We're gonna give you a pound of food, a pound of house supplies, whatever. Hey, these guys are all freaking crooks, but so is everybody else, right? Um, this is something I want to bring up again. This was back. Now I did several videos on YouTube about Deagle.com forecast. And at first I was like, God, I just can't believe it being this screwed up. But then again, now I start thinking, wow, with this, if they freaking keep doing shutting down and all this kind of crap, yeah, there's going to be major problems because, real wealth isn't really the numbers exactly. The numbers are supposed to reflect what's really going on, but a lot of times they don't exactly. But when you shut down actual real hardcore production that people need, essential services, which they're really doing in a lot of ways too, even though they say they're not, that's going to wreck the United States. This was back in 2018, and I know I've been following these Deagle forecasts. Deagle is like a site that predicts. It's not a conspiracy site in the least. It's actually, it predicts military expenditures, purchasing power parity, GDP, Well, I said military expenditures and population forecast out into the future. So, and they've actually had some revisions on this. They had the American population was going to be 67 million in 2025. Then they had it down to 64 million. Then they had it down to 53 million. And then it went in 2018, it went up to 99 million, but that's still less than 1/3 it is today. And largely due to exodus because of, and a lot of problems, because of the collapse of the U.S. economy. Now, this might really be real. I know they gave FEMA power through this national emergency that they did with Trump and stuff. I don't know what the hell's going. I can tell you, no matter what, they got the strings on this guy big time. Yeah, U.S. Department of Homeland Security, redneck style. You can see that right here. But yeah, it ain't like that. I wish it was because this way there wouldn't be so much control. But there's gonna be a lot of control. Oh yeah, this guy here. This is Albert, Duke Albert Edward. He was originally that was my great-great-grandfather, believe it or not. I know, it's illegitimate, so you can't prove it. So my great-grandfather was illegitimate from him and an Italian mother. And this is a picture of him when he was king in 1909, color picture, taken by his actual father, who would be my third great-grandfather, Lionel Nathan Rothschild. And I'm going to tell you, I'm bringing that up because I know there's probably at least 100 people alive today that got this lineage. I figured it out, though, with some other things I don't want to reveal on here, but I kind of crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's I could. And I think it is legit. But I can tell you, sometimes when you get these things that come to you and are facts that you get, and you can piece together the pieces, and it comes specifically to me. I swear to God, I got some of this demonic DNA that can freaking tell you what the hell's going on. And I actually was said, I don't even want to say it again here because YouTube's so I said MAGA was this big psyop, I said that, and I don't know, I said, YouTube we got to watch because it's like I can't say much on here. I can reveal, but I'm going to tell you, I got more freaking credentials. Not that I got the money. but I got more. You know how they say like the president is lineage goes back to the. I got more of that than these guys. I got more than George Bush has. I got on my father's side going back to the American Revolution and people that were heavy hitters. I mean, people are actually on the ground doing shit, and also Confederates in South Carolina. So, and from my mother's side, I got that other thing with the Duke. But that don't give me money. But I can tell you one thing: I got some kind of freaking insight. I saw this. I thought this whole thing, but you know what I thought? Where I was wrong. I thought this was going to unravel after the 2020 election. I thought this wasn't going to come up to 2021. What's going on? Not the virus, but I think that's just a cover story for everything coming down. So here you got crude oil. This was yesterday, 14 cents a barrel. And if you look at this chart here, this never happened before in the history of freaking oil. The WTI to West Texas. It went to like negative $37 a barrel, which you're probably aware of now, but it's worth less than nothing. I was like, what's going on is, that's a trading thing. It's not really like the oil's worth less than nothing. You're gonna pay me to take it off your hands, right? Yeah, I like to see that happen. I guarantee there was no physical exchange going on where the buyer was given money by the seller to take the oil off their hands. But that's a thing that's just electronic market. But the point is this: you remember what happened when we got off the gold standard in 1973, because the dollar was actually worth less and less and less, and people were demanding gold bars governments were for their dollars, and then we get rid of we wouldn't have any gold left because we issued so many dollars. If they traded their dollars in for gold, all our gold would be gone. Well, so they went to this arrangement with the OPEC that the dollar, they would always buy U.S. treasuries and U.S. debt with the proceeds of the oil revenue, and also all oil would be traded in dollars, which would create a demand for countries to hold lots of dollars to buy the oil with, because ultimately the final step of the transaction is that whatever currency you had to be converted into dollars to buy oil, which everybody used oil. Well, at these ridiculously low prices, that means there's a way less demand for the dollar. Now, if you combine that with some other things, like the U.S. debt clock, 24 trillion plus. It's actually way higher than that now because they did a $2 trillion bailout, quote unquote, but they got 4 trillion more ready to give them. They've actually authorized 6 trillion. It's 4 more trillion just in case they need it. Well, I look at this as like a last ditch. They all know that the end is near. It was like I've known this for years, and I said this on several videos. It's not my calculation, but there was I forgot where I read it, but I read it in a few different places. A lot of people agreed that the point of no return was 24 trillion. Now, maybe it is or maybe it isn't, but you got to remember, if that's the consensus, so when people think that's the point of no return, they want to grab the money and go. Pay me now, get it, just freaking run with the ball. Now, what the banks are actually doing, though, the main hard asset that's going to be safe if everything goes down is going to be gold. And of course, silver is going to be somewhat in that realm too. Pretty close to it too. Like silver, gold really freaking gets legs and it really freaking takes off. Silver's going to take off and probably take off faster too at certain points in time. Now, I'm going to look at one other thing. That the dollar, they're not going to let the dollar go to oblivion because the oil prices have went to oblivion, which decreased the value of the dollar, right? In other words, it decreases the demand for the dollar, right? Which will decrease the value of the dollar. Now, the fast way to get the dollar up real, with more demand for the dollar is you got to increase the oil prices. So how do you increase the oil prices? Or in the Middle East. Straits of Hormuz is closed down because there's a conflict, and that'll do it. They'll go right up. They'll go to $200 a barrel, man. I don't know when, but it could. That's how you could do it. That's how you could do it, and then temporarily put an extreme demand for the dollar by having, if you're forcing everybody to pay for oil in dollars. Well, if the oil prices go exponentially high due to the Straits of Hormuz being closed down or something, well, because of a war, well, that'll do it. And how can they do that? I mean, I don't want to say too much on here, but, there could be this power outage because the quote-unquote Iranians did it, whatever, right? You're not going to do that? By the way, all the Western nations have been so, like, pussified. I love this little freaking picture here. The defense ministers of Sweden, Norway, the Netherlands, and Germany. The defense minister of Russia. You could tell what the hell's. You could tell, like, it reminds me of the Daughters of the American Revolution. We got almost 1 million members. Yeah, oh God, it's freaking all bad. But anyway, enjoy the ride while it's still going, because it's not going to last too much longer. I think we're in major. I don't want it to be like this. I mean, personally, the way I'd like it to see it happen is like certain commodities like silver just go way the hell up and everything else stays the same price. It's not going to work like that, And it's going to be difficult how this is going to work if, say, silver went up to some crazy price like $100, $200 an ounce or $300, $400 an ounce. You think the government isn't going to want to get a major slice of that when you're going to say every single ounce of silver that goes to a bullion dealer has to have a 1099 or whatever. No, 1099, whatever. Yeah, 1099, right? Issued to the person who traded it in. You see what I mean? No matter how small it was, even if you did 1 ounce, right? And it'll tax it at like 50% or some shit. They did this back, not with silver, but with the oil. When oil went up real high during the 70s, when they had, with OPEC and all that kind of crap, when they were, got together about closing down the oil supplies and stuff, and the oil went way up. Well, the government put an excise tax on oil just so because people were making a lot of money by the oil going up. Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't trust any of these electronic brokerage houses because the reality is all these funds, they really don't know what's backing them. And anything you got in the stock market with the brokerage houses, no matter what the hell it is, they say it's all managed and this is managed and that's managed. None of it's backed by the FDIC. And the FDIC can't even back all the freaking banks. You'd be better off. I know it's risky. You could do this and you grab the money and run and get the hell out. But it's possible. I don't know. It's possible maybe you could make a shitload of money. But I'm looking at where this is going. You got to remember that a lot of these CEOs of these companies are living up in Montana or Teton County, Wyoming, on the border of Idaho, and they're saying like, we just like this new environment because it's a change of pace from our hectic corporate environment. Yeah, sure, they know what's coming down. They're on like a 20,000 acre ranch and they got their private security and they got everything they need over there. So just like everything falls apart in the cities and people are running away trying to get out and there's not enough food to go around and there's all this crap going on and everybody's fighting each other, they're going to be away from it. So I put out something on that about BitChute, about the $2 trillion heist and where the CEOs went to. You can look at that if you want. I don't know where this is going exactly, but unfortunately, I kind of suspected it was going to play out like this, but I didn't think. Well, it's just like, this is where I get things wrong. I get the basic trends usually right, but the trends play out more extreme than I thought they ever think. Like the housing market, I figured that was going to come down because it was way overheated. But I never thought like, the product itself would be on the market for less than the direct construction cost of the product, and it still wasn't selling. I was like, whoa, man, you couldn't even build a house. You couldn't even build these homes for what the hell they were trying to sell them for at cost, and they still weren't selling. You never thought it would go that low. And, when things are falling apart right now, it's like you never think they would fall apart this fast. So I thought this implosion was going to come on during the second term for Trump. I think he's going to win. I mean, this could be also where they don't want him to win at all, too. I mean, who the hell knows? I mean, there's a couple things about Trump that the elite don't like at all. I mean, but even though I know he's very much controlled. Mr. Putin the Cat is looking at us. He's a little gray guy. This is when he's a kitten. Boy, I wish I could have adopted all three of these. They weren't. She was already, the black cat. His sister was already gone when I picked up Putin. He missed her so bad. So now he's got Onyx and Feather, who are both black cats. Don't look exactly like her, but I don't know. And he's got Goldie, looks like him, so he's happy maybe. But I think that this thing is actually going to be freaking way more extreme than expected. Now, with the lack of freaking activity, the thing is, you got to remember, just stay busy. I'm busy all the time. I'm trying to get a video up on BitChute right now. Freaking damn it! Not a major video or nothing, but it's going to get up there. So just stay busy, and that's the thing. You just work on whatever you got to work on. Take care of all of your bullshit you got to take care of. Don't waste too much time on the internet or TV or watching movies or anything. If you got a bicycle machine or elliptical machine at your home, which I got a elliptical, go use that and work out. Use this time. Personally, this damn I'm in Florida, so it's not really shut down the way these other states are up north, and this isn't really affecting me, not at all. It's just that it's pissing me off that people are complying. Oh, and I also want to mention, and now that we got this reminds me of this could be the defense minister of Russia. You could think of this guy as a CEO of a company, and these four women are CEOs of companies. Susan doesn't rate, okay? But she said something that vitamin C working against viruses is it's bad information. It's false information. It's flat out what she's telling you is exactly the opposite. It's been known. Vitamin C is an absolute viricide. I'm like, whatever. I mean, you know what this is going on. It's freaking bad news, man. So don't really use YouTube. You shouldn't really use YouTube too much. There's still some things on here, but you should go to other platforms. BitChute is kind of difficult to find things on there sometimes, but it's got a way lot. Whenever you find it, it's got way more on here than it's got this platform does. So it's all the stuff that they don't, threatens the money angle of the big money who's paying the advertisements on YouTube. So they're telling YouTube what to freaking put out and what not to put out. So that's what happens. It's controlled. It's completely controlled. And actually, the alternative media that's on YouTube, that's big, they're what you call gatekeepers. They throw you a few things out there and they don't freaking tell you that much. I don't know where this is going exactly, but I can tell you, I get a basic, when silver went down, I never expected it to go down like $14, $13, $12 an ounce. I thought 18 was going to be the rock bottom. I had that wrong, and I thought it was, I didn't expect it to be down this low for this long, but it's like right now, the fear factor, the class 1 asset right now is gold. And JP Morgan has the largest physical position on silver in the history of the world, bigger than the Hunt brothers. And of course, all the central banks have been buying gold. So you can see what's coming up. It's going to freaking go up exponentially. But I always said it's only going to go up when oil prices go way the hell up, which normally is associated with major conflict in the Middle East. So going back to this 14, I don't even know what the oil is today, right? Maybe it's up $3 or something. I don't know. Maybe it's up $20. I really don't know. But it was 14 cents yesterday, and it was like negative $37 the day before. Um, that's bad news for keeping the dollar strong, because it really drastically, it basically knocks out that whole OPEC agreement in a way, because it makes it worthless. Because the OPEC agreement is to make a demand for dollars, because all oil is traded in dollars, right? And the proceeds or the revenue from oil will be invested in dollars. So you got way less proceeds because the oil prices are way down. So you got way less investment in, U.S. debt, and you also have, even if the oil demand is still pretty good, which it's not because of less economic activity due to the virus scam, whatever you want to call it. It's just that there's not much oil being sold, so that's not creating any demand for dollars right that way. That's the whole freaking way the whole dollar system's being held up. And I said the only way they're going to freaking get out, I know the only way to get out of that. And this is where my demonic freaking DNA is going to tell you what's coming up. They're going to have to do this war thing. Well, they'll plan for it for years, but they're going to have to. And, eventually the dollar is going to be, I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe it's going to be a local currency for the United States. And it's not going to be the world reserve currency or whatever. I don't know. Maybe the dollar might still be around so many years from now, but it's not going to be what the hell it is now. Not the same animal. So anyway, enjoy the ride while you can. And speaking of dollars, if you want to put a couple dollars in my PayPal, which is only up on BitChute, it's not up here on freaking YouTube. It's only on BitChute. I'd appreciate it. I don't waste any money, believe me. No money. I buy no fluff. So whatever dollars you give me goes to actually something solid and something tangible. I don't drink any beer. I don't smoke cigarettes, and I don't waste no money for shit. So, even if you gave me $5-10 or something, it goes to something solid. And if I buy something off of eBay that I need, I look up U.S. seller only, which hopefully, if it's made in China, at least it goes to a damn USA middleman. You know what I mean? So, none of that gets wasted. But, that's one of the things you got to watch out for yourself, is that you need to be frugal with your money and stay busy. I'm staying busy, and you should too. I mean, because right now you got a golden opportunity to get a lot of shit done. Most people that, while this is going on, that you couldn't. And I know it doesn't, personally affect me, but I'm very much aggravated that people are buying into this, and a lot of people are, and complying with it. Like if I had a business, and I was out there dealing with the public, and I had a business, I'd be like, you want me to close down? Says who? Screw you. It's bullshit. They don't have a right to do that. I know they got the freaking money, though. They got the money who pays the cops to do that. Cops will just obey the governor, whether it's a lawful order or not. They just do it. But I'm not in that predicament where I have a business that would be affected by this. If I was, I probably wouldn't comply. And I'd probably, but I'm just burned up that people are complying with this garbage. But that's what people want to do, man. They're stupid. They shouldn't be doing that. I'm kind of burned up the Sons of the American Revolution and the Sons of Confederate Veterans for canceling all their meetings. I said, what the hell are you doing that for? Okay. It tells me I don't want to bother with them anymore if they're that much of a chicken littles. And said, anyway, over now. And again, this is going to go, this is where, like I said, this is where I freaking screw up on things. I don't estimate how extreme something can go. This is probably going to go a lot worse than I thought. And that's why I brought up the Deagle.com prediction. That prediction seemed ludicrous to me. And Maybe it's not that ludicrous. Now, I know a lot of that population reduction is going to be due to people trying to get out of the United States, because there's a lot of people in the United States that just are here because they got, they went here and they got money. The government gives them lots of money to just be here. They don't really want to be here. It's like this is the cash cow. So those kind of people might just freaking book real quick. But then, I don't know. I mean, it's probably not going to be enough to go around for everybody to survive. So that's another problem. Of course, YouTube's going to be thinking they're going to be making money off of advertisers during that freaking problem coming up. And I'm like, no, they're not. No, they're not. They ain't going to be making. It's going to be that. Actually, if what is coming up is, I think is coming up. YouTube's going to be gone, man. It's going to be gone, because I mean, they're losing money now, but wait till they freaking really start losing money. They're going to lose money like crazy. So anyway. Over and out. Have a nice day. And, don't waste any money. That's watchword. Be careful about going to convenience stores and bullshit like that. I don't do that crap. I see so many. You wonder why I see so many people. I call them like redneck types, and I'm not telling you there's good redneck types and bad redneck types. There's a kind that could blow. If you gave them a check for $2,000 a week, they'd be in the bars, they'd be smoking, they'd be buying cigarettes from the convenience store. They just blow it. They'd be going to fast food restaurants. They would wind up not having any money left anyway. That's how these people are. It's like a lot of people can get themselves out of debt and out of a hole real easy if they just freaking are responsible. I'm bringing this up on a silver video because that's probably the most important financial advice I can give you. You would be surprised how fast these little incidental $5-10 costs add up when you come out of a supermarket and you say, hey, I need that. You know what I mean? You don't need it. A lot of people do compulsive spending, and I don't do that unless it's something I absolutely think will have a future use for sure. That's solid, something that can last me. So, if you give me $5 or $10, it doesn't go to waste. I do not wait. I don't drink any beer. I don't smoke any cigarettes. I don't do any. I don't gallivant around and just blow money. I don't do that kind of shit. A lot of people, when they get some kind of money, they immediately blow it. That's why people that they used to win the lottery. They used to give them the whole lump sum, and then 3 years later, they're worse off than they were when they got the money, even though they got $10 million. Now they do, if they win the lottery, they give it to them in installments over a lifetime period of 20 years, because otherwise they'll mismanage it. And I'm not one of those kind of people. I'll guarantee you that right now. I am not. So, if you want to give whatever small contribution, I appreciate it very much. It's not like I'm broke or nothing, but the thing is, I'm not freaking wealthy. And it's like I could be doing accounting instead of doing this shit. But the point I'm making is, oh, man. If you don't give anything, that's fine too, because you're going to need, you should, when you spend money, get stuff for prepping. Even if you get filtered straws that can purify water or whatever, anything like that. Or if you buy some couple extra coins of silver for strictly making colloidal silver, or for help keeping water from getting microbes in it, just do that. Because this situation is not fear-mongering anymore. This is real. And they did that $2 trillion because they all know about the 24 trillion limit. So they grab the money and they're booking. That's what they're doing. And they're probably I don't know what they're doing with the money exactly. I know gold is one of the big things, but not everything goes into gold. But they're going to be buying up, closed down businesses dirt cheap because they forced them to close down because of the virus or whatever. They're going to be buying up real estate real cheap, and then maybe making it into something else, or they'll try to rent something out to somebody. But I can tell you one guy I like was Sam Zell. And, he's a Jewish guy. He's a real estate developer guy mainly. He used to own the Chicago Tribune. He's a good guy. He's not Susan Wojcicki. He'll tell you, it's like you got to have the base to sell to. You know, what they're doing here, these guys are so greedy on the top that they're wrecking the entire goose, the producing middle class that makes them wealthy. So the whole thing's going to come right back to them again. Because these people, I mean, you know, they don't know what the hell they think they know. And again, I'm gonna tell you, man, I am related to this guy here. This is Queen Victoria would be my I guess she would be my great grandmother. Yeah. I mean, it don't sound like, I mean, I'm royalty, right? Yeah, bullshit. I know my uncle, like he was a CPA in New York, one of the top ones, and his uncle was a CPA. He got that information back, I think, in 1938 in some documents, too, and he had to prove it for school, what his lineage was, and after that, they called him the Duke, because it was after Duke Albert Edward, and that was actually in his yearbook. So, I mean, it's a little more, you know, I got some pretty solid stuff on this stuff. It's like, but, I swear to God, I got some kind of, from something, some kind of sense. I got some kind of sense. But I can tell you where I screw up is I underestimate how extreme something can go. Like, you know, I keep thinking silver can only go to 75 or maybe 120 bucks an ounce. Who the hell knows, man? Just like oil went to $37 negative, it could go the opposite way. It could go to 250 bucks for all I know someday. You know, I don't know when that's going to happen. And also, you know, when that happens, gold and silver is going to be astronomically higher than you would ever believe, but not for a very long period of time. And you know what's going to happen? You're going to be afraid to take the cash. You're going to be looking at a number and saying, well, that's worth so much money. Oh, they got that. Oh, yeah, it's only worth so much money when you actually exchange it. And, you know, you get, because you've seen it going up and up and up, you keep thinking you're not going to get, you know, you keep thinking it's going to keep going up. Hey, you know what? If you knew where something was going to, if you were Karnak the magician, if you knew that kind of stuff, it wouldn't matter. I mean, you wouldn't even need, you'd be richer than anybody in the world inside of a year if you could freaking predict that kind of stuff on anything, no matter and whatever commodity it is. You know, pork bellies or something. I don't know, whatever. You know what I mean? You would be able to make freaking $500 billion in no short time right off the bat. The point is, nobody has that type of uncanny sense. You know, so, you know, I don't either. But the problem is, you know, so I'm very much tempted to buy oil right now, but I don't want to bother because I don't really trust. I don't trust any of the brokerage house. I don't trust anything. It's like, yeah, when the CEO of MasterCard resigned, I'm like thinking to myself, oh my God, that's not too cool. Anyway, Susan, I wonder how much longer you're going to be freaking around because they might not need you anymore, Miss Wyszynski. I know that these people are supposed to be the top of the pyramid chain, but I got to guarantee it or not. They're only the faces that you see. Anyway, have a nice day. Over and out.